Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, June 30th, last day of the month. We'll be turning the page to July, and it's going to be a nice day out there with plenty of sunshine, temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80. And then we have hopefully a pretty good chance for showers and thunderstorms tonight, moving in possibly as early as this evening, but certainly during the overnight hours is when we expect most of the rain into very early Friday. And right now, hopefully, we can get most areas around a quarter of an inch or better, but I think the best chance will be across mid-Michigan. We'll show you that in a second. So again, the big weather headline for today is rain tonight. If we look at the conditions around the MAC area, temperatures mainly in the 50s across the area, a little cooler in some of those normally cold spots like Newaygo and Alma, and you can see that on the regional map here, 44 degrees, 48 over in Bad Axe, down to 43 at Cadillac. If we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 82, the normal low is 58, and yesterday we had a high of 78 degrees, we had a low of 50, and another 25 hundredths of an inch of evapotranspiration. If we look at the soil conditions across the MAC area, you can again see no precipitation has fallen, and again, warm temperatures, but all the surface moistures are bone dry, and it's also very dry down to the 8-inch level, so we desperately need the rain. If we look at the next map, you can see as far as the percentage of normal rainfall, this was from yesterday. You can see we're down to 47.3% yesterday. Just one day later with no rain across the area, that 47 is now down to 45.73. So we continue to really run a pretty significant deficit, not only for June, but for May. And you can see over the last 2 months, St. Thomas in real bad shape at 38% of the normal rainfall. So again, we desperately need some rain. We're going to get some, and then we're going to have a tremendous amount of heat try to come towards the Great Lakes as we get into the middle of next week, and hopefully that'll bring some rain with it. If we don't, we're going to see temperatures in the 90s under very dry conditions following that. So again, I think we'll get into a more active pattern next week, but certainly need a little bit of luck on our side. If we look at the satellite picture, you can see some of the moisture off to the west associated with the low pressure system is being spun up towards the Great Lakes, and just in time for this cold front to come through tonight. That should help squeeze out precipitation. I think many areas will see, I think most areas will at least see some rain, but again, I think parts of the area could see a quarter to maybe as much as a half-inch of rain. If we look at the forecast map for today, you can see a low pressure system off to in Lake Superior with the cold front back into the Dakotas. Here's that low pressure system with its counterclockwise winds streaming some of this moisture up towards the cold front. And that's what will help squeeze out that showers for tonight. And by Friday morning, the cold front across southeast lower Michigan. So any rainfall that we have around the area should be mainly over the eastern part of the state early in the day. And I think most areas will then turn sunny by late in the afternoon. And we'll see temperatures quite a bit cooler in the low 70s, maybe mid 70s for tomorrow. But then we warm up over the weekend. You can see by Saturday, high pressure system in control, and we expect things to be dry for both Saturday and Sunday with highs in the upper 70s to the low 80s. Could see a shower or thunder shower Sunday night and Monday, but I think the chances are quite low. I think our next best chance for rainfall will be towards the middle of the week when that heat begins to move towards the Great Lakes. If we look at the day 6 outlook, you can see by the middle of next week, many areas of low pressure will be off to our west, and that's going to cause heights to build across much of the eastern part of the country. And then you can see our flow coming out of the southwest from places like Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, back into Texas, and that's where it's been extremely hot. And so some of that hot air should stream into the Great Lakes here for the second half of the week when we could see some more 90-degree temperatures. Speaking of which, you can see Breckenridge now at 4, Jasper at 3, leading the way as far as 90-degree days. And we'll add some more to that here over the next couple of weeks as we go into a pretty hot pattern. As far as precipitation, you see the GFS now has the greatest precipitation across mid-Michigan, and that's a little bit farther north shift, and that equals up what the Europeans said yesterday that placed the heaviest precipitation in this area of about a quarter to half inch. So now the GFS in agreement. Now the European model does have more significant rain also across much of south central lower Michigan, around that Lansing area or towards Ann Arbor, and then back across western Michigan where it even projects some areas could see between 3/4 of an inch and an inch. But all areas look like we'd see about a quarter to half inch, but we don't want to get too excited. We got the Japanese model showing only about 1 to 2 tenths across the area. But again, hopefully everybody will get at least that amount. And if we look at the next shot, this is from the WPC over the next 72 hours, where we expect the rainfall across the Great Lakes again. They're thinking anywhere from a tenth to maybe as much as a half inch, and some heavy rains begin to show up across the Corn Belt. And we'll take a look at the next map. You can see yesterday, here was a forecast, 7-day forecast from yesterday showing as we get towards the middle of next week, some of the precipitation off to our south would be very significant. And again, if we look at today's now, that has shifted some of that heavier rains closer and closer to the Great Lakes. So we'll see if this is a trend or just a blip. But hopefully that'll trend a little farther north, and maybe we can get some very beneficial rains here. But it certainly is looking better for far southern lower Michigan. But again, this may very well shift back to the south, and it'll be interesting to see what the 12Z run shows on the models here as we get in towards mid-afternoon. We'll take a look at that. Thanks for stopping by, and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.